Everyone, and welcome to week 5 of English 120. This week we're going to continue to talk about the argumentative essay. We're going to read 2 essays. The first one is called Harry Potter Among the Muggles, and the second is called Fast Food Nation. Both are in the Conscious Reader. We're also going to be completing a unit in comp class called Define Your Research Strategy. Then we're going to be participating in a discussion forum, understanding logos, pathos, and ethos. Then you guys will be filling out 2 assignments, which are more pre-writing for your argumentative essay. You're going to do a elevator story worksheet and a logos, ethos, pathos worksheet assignment. So just to review, you have an argumentative essay that's going to be due next week. So we're still doing pre-writing for it this week, and next week you will be assigned this final essay to be completed by the end of next week. But just to review it again, please feel free to ask me any questions you have, but make sure you read this assignment carefully. The first thing you're going to do in order to prepare to write your essay, hopefully you've already completed your pre-writing, which was due last week as part of your blog. This week you're going to think about your elevator story. So now that you kind of have an idea of what topic you're going to write about, now I want you to think about, kind of think through that topic. And the first thing you want to do is, and this is the elevator story that you read about in last week's reading, think about the question or problem that your argument will address. Then think about why that problem or question is important or interesting to you. Why are you drawn to this topic, okay? Why do you want to write about it? Third, talk about what your current guess at an answer to the problem or argument would be based on what you've read so far. What do you feel like you're going to be arguing towards? And then finally, where do you expect to find evidence to support your answer? Now, for all of you, obviously you could just say the conscious reader, but what I want you to do is to talk about specific quotations from the article you are writing about. So, for example, if you're writing about what's wrong with Cinderella, if you're writing about the princess industry, find quotations from Ornstein's article that support if you're pro princess industry and you want to refute what Ornstein's saying in her article, find quotations that support your argument against her and list them on the worksheet. The next thing you're going to be working on is developing logos, pathos, and ethos for your essay. So once you kind of have an idea of what you're going to be arguing, now you need to think about how you're going to be arguing it. Logic is one way of clearly establishing to the reader the facts of why they should agree with you. This is where you bring in things like, going back to Ornstein's article, the facts and figures of how big the princess industry, the Disney princess industry is right now, or percentages of things like that. Specific facts that you can use to defend what you're saying. Pathos is when you use real life examples of real people to support what you're saying. So, for example, you're using statistics of the multi-million-dollar industry that Disney has to support that, to agree possibly with Ornstein. But then you bring in a story of a friend of yours who was addicted to buying princess paraphernalia for, I don't know, Cinderella. And that idea that it became so important to her. But maybe you're arguing against Ornstein and you're using that example to talk about how even though she had every single Cinderella wand or dress, she still ended up being a police officer, and it didn't seem to hinder her development into who she was going to become. Okay? Excuse me. Finally, ethos is very important in your paper. This is where you're going to establish your persona as a trustworthy, open-minded source. So whenever you're talking about arguing something, you want to begin your introduction by not only introducing your topic, so what you're going to be talking about, both sides of the conversation you're joining. So if you're talking about the Ornstein's article, you're going to talk about the pros and the cons of the the princess industry. Then you're also going to talk about who are you to speak about this. So maybe you're for if I was speaking about myself, I could say I'm a girl who grew up watching Disney films. I have my own personal experience. I have friends who grew up watching the princess films, albeit in a different um, time period than you guys. Most likely, um, it's an experience that establishes that I have a background in this. It's also you establish ethos in your introduction by not showing a bias. You don't want to show. You want people to trust you. They want to know that what you're presenting to them isn't swayed just by your opinions. So this is where you come off as being stating the facts and proving your argument not with emotive language, like, I can't believe that, right? With actual logos and pathos, using that as a way to sway your reader to agree with what you're saying. So what you're going to do this week is you're going to fill out another form where you think through your topic and think about, okay, what logical facts could I present about my topic? Okay, what are some real life examples of people that appeals to my reader's emotions to support the argument that I'm going to be making in my essay. You put that under pathos. And then thinking about who am I to speak about this topic? What experiences do I have? How will I show that I don't have bias about this topic? So make sure you fill those out this week. They're due next Monday. So guys, that's it for this week. Please, as always, please reach out to me and let me know if you have any questions. Next week, we're going to be reading a couple of essays, but the main thing we're going to be doing is we're going to be turning in our final essay. You'll get lots of information about that next week. Right now, just focus on this pre-writing. I look forward to seeing you guys online.